There's Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win uh, one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter.
Fight for both of us, I believe.
Any doubt in your mind that you beat him?
Of course, I believe. It ain't no doubt in my mind that I won't beat anybody that I step in the ring.
The long-awaited fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is getting closer and closer to becoming a reality. Undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo has turned up the heat on the potential duel, and Crawford has responded directly to the Mexican
Fighter, like Errol Spence is, but other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with Spence. He did like almost looked very easy.
This fight, which has been the subject of negotiations for months, promises to be one of the most exciting in recent boxing history. Crawford, a world champion in 4 different divisions, will try to conquer the 168 PB division, a significant challenge that will test him against one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. However, the rivalry between the two has already begun to heat up. American boxer Terence Crawford has already begun the war of words with the Mexican champion in search of a historic fight between two undisputed champions.
Won't be like any other fight that he's fought recently, and it'd be a well-fought fight for both of us, I believe.
Canelo Alvarez, in a recent interview published on journalist Die Boxing Man's X account, stated that Crawford does not have the head-to-head record that positions him as a true champion. Look, I respect Terence Crawford, he's very talented, but he only won one big fight. If you look at his record, he has only beaten one good fighter, Errol Spence. Other than that, he hasn't beaten other great fighters like Spence, affirmed the Mexican. Crawford had no time responding to Canelo's statements through his X account. The American warned the Mexican champion.
People asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, there's I always say, I respect there's.
So out of all the fighters I've faced, only one has been good. I take note of that. Just remember what he said, because I've always had the pleasure of making a fighter who is someone end up looking like a nobody. With this message, Crawford not only responded to Canelo's statements, but also raised the tension of the fight. The confrontation between the two promises to be a spectacle, not only in the ring, but also outside of it, with an intense rivalry brewing between two of the best boxers in the world.
A small fighter like Charlo is big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford.
Canelo continued speaking on the fight. During the interview with the reputable boxing platform, the 34-year-old revealed he was in for the clash with Bud, admitting he won't get any credit. I respect Crawford, he's a great fighter. I always say that, no disrespect to him. Sometimes it's a little crazy that people talk about a small fighter like Charo, which is big, and then everybody is talking about, if I'm going to face Crawford, a fighter at 147 who is smaller than Charlo, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I won't have any credit if I face Crawford, but you never know. In boxing, I go up and down and fight everybody out there, so it's possible. Why not? It's possible.
147, who is smaller than Charlo, so no make sense when you guys say that.
This was almost a repeat of an interview he had earlier where he said, I'm in. Why not? I think Crawford, don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter, but for me in my weight class, it's an easy fight for me, easy money. If the money is right, I'm in, because I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because he moves a lot and the fight is not that great. I saw Crawford in the last fight and he doesn't move that much now, so yeah, if the money is right, I'm in the fight, which has been in the works for months. Would be for the Mexican's 168 pounds title, which would mean that Bud would move up 2 divisions in one F swoop, a big disadvantage for him, although he has assured that he has enough to challenge the Mexican. As part of the negotiations, both fighters are expected to have a preliminary fight before facing each other.
Undisputed champion.
Well, I wouldn't count Crawford out in any fight, because Crawford has a unique talent. He's a great boxer.
Just a few days ago, Canelo confirmed that he has booked the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for September 13th in what would be his second fight of the year. Arum, who promoted a number of Crawford fights before the pair parted ways in 2021, believes the Omaha man's ability to switch stances could cause the Mexican problems despite the weight disparity, which will see the 37-year-old move up 2 weight classes. I wouldn't count Crawford out in any fight, Arum told Fight Hype. calm because Crawford has a unique talent. He's a great boxer puncher, and he is totally ambidextrous.
The puncher, and he is totally ambidextrous. So he drives his opponent crazy because the opponent trains to fight a right-handed fighter and ends up fighting a southpaw.
So he drives his opponent crazy because the opponent trains to fight a right-handed fighter and ends up fighting a southpaw, and that's what happened to Errol Spence. Spence trained to fight a right-handed fighter and all he saw was a southpaw fighter. I think what Crawford is looking for is a Manny Pacquiao versus Oscar de la Hoya fight. Alvarez has previously been dismissive of a showdown with the 37-year-old, however his stance has changed after both men held positive talks with Saudi Arabian boxing chief Turki Al-Sheikh in London. Earlier this month, the 34-year-old recorded 2 victories in 2024, defending his belts with decision wins over Jamie Monga and Edgar Berlanga, while Crawford became a 4-weight world champion after capturing the WBA super welterweight crown with a point success over Isra Madov.
And that's what happened to what's his name?
Errol?
Errol.
Yeah.
Errol
It remains unknown whether Canelo, a 4-division world champion himself, will fight on his customary Cinco de Mayo date in May with International Boxing Federation champion William Scull, a possibility should he elect to have bout before facing Crawford, a victory which would see him reclaim his status as undisputed super middleweight champion. The highly anticipated clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford continues to dominate boxing headlines while the fight has yet to be officially confirmed. The prospect of these 2 pound-for-pound titans colliding in the ring has captivated fans worldwide. Canelo last fought in September, successfully defending his unified super middleweight titles against Edgar Berlanga. Crawford, meanwhile, recently moved up to 154 pounds, defeating Israel Madrimov to claim the World Boxing Association super welterweight championship.
Loads of things going around at the moment, including a big clash with Canelo Alvarez. Can you tell us what's going on in that situation, and can that happen next?
We shall see, you know.
The fight was initially speculated shortly after Bud dethroned World Boxing Association light middleweight champion Israel Madrimov last August, adding 154 pounds to the other 3 weight divisions that he has captured world titles, and shortly after Crawford's triumph over Madrimov last summer, Canelo made another successful defense of his World Boxing Council World Boxing Association and World Boxing Organization super middleweight titles, picking up another comprehensive win in a division that he has dominated since 2021.
Absolutely deserve it. I've said you're a pound for pound king. If it isn't Canelo next year, are you done from the sport, Terence?
I wouldn't say that. Right now, I'm just waiting on my options and looking for the best opportunities and options for Terence Crawford.
As both fighters gear up for what could be the biggest fight of their respective careers, the 39-year-old 2E undisputed champion has already spoken out and sent a message of warning. Canelo, speaking on social media, Crawford vowed to shock the world and claim victory over the Mexican superstar when they finally clash. "I'ma shock the world, watch, the best is yet to come. I had it in my back pocket this whole time."
My career.
Absolutely. Last one on him, promise. If that fight is made, how does it go with you and Canelo? How does it play out?
That's why we're watching this.
Although he remains confident it is going to be a monumental task for Bud, who will have to move up 2 weight divisions ahead of facing the 34-year-old Mexican who has enjoyed tremendous success during his campaign at super middleweight, defeating the likes of Gennady Golovkin, Caleb Plant and Gerald Charlo. Despite the weight difference between the 2 fighters, the potential for this super fight remains a hot topic of discussion.
That's what everybody wants to see us fight for, because everybody got answers that need to be answered. You know, and the only way they can be answered is
Amir Khan, the only boxer to have faced both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, offered his unique perspective on this potential showdown in an interview with Box Nation. Amir Khan, who fought Canelo at a catch weight of 155 pounds, acknowledged the significant weight advantage that Canelo would possess. "Canelo is a beast, man. I fought both of those guys, and I feel that size always wins. Having weight divisions, there's a purpose behind that." Khan explained, "Terence is special, don't get me wrong, but then he's getting hit by a guy like Canelo. World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association and World Boxing Organization super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez punches Edgar Berlanga during the second round of a title fight at T-Mobile Arena on September 14th, 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada.
But I think Canelo is a beast on that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not to do that.
Khan, who suffered a 6th-round stoppage loss to Alvarez, emphasized the physicality of facing the Mexican superstar. What a fight that would be, though. I'll root for my boy Terence and want him to win that fight, but it would be hard. Does he need that fight? No, I didn't think he does. He's done so well in his career and beaten everyone. He's untouchable, one of the best out there pound for pound. But if it's a big payday, I get why it would be made. Why take a risky fight for less money when he can take a seriously hard fight for serious money? Despite the risks, Khan praised Crawford's skill, noting that he has the ability to compete at the highest level. However, he reiterated the potential dangers of such a matchup, adding, "We never want to see fighters get hurt."
Jamel Charlo playing now.
I think Canelo just outboxed. Well, no, not outboxed, but I think just outpowers him and beats him to the punch. And you do give Canelo does have some sort of like decent speed as well.
Amid the growing speculation, Canelo Alvarez addressed the rumors with a brief but intriguing response: "I'm open to talk," while his forward message leaves room for interpretation. It has only fueled the excitement among boxing fans, suggesting that this mega fight might be closer to becoming a reality when they face off in September. Shakur Stevenson thinks Terence Crawford will defeat Canelo Alvarez and can make it a very easy fight. Stevenson, the World Boxing Council lightweight champion, claims that for years he's been saying that Crawford will defeat Canelo.
As a Canelo and obviously your good friend, mentor, Terence Crawford, a lot of people a few years ago would have said that's crazy, but I think everybody, when they see the talent of Terence Crawford...
Crawford, the World Boxing Association champion in the 154 pounds light middleweight division, has promised to put on 14 pounds to compete in the highly anticipated bout, which would probably be the highest paying day of his career. Stevenson was sure in his response when asked if he believes Crawford will win that matchup. "I've been saying this for years now. I'm probably the first one that has been saying this, even before Terence is saying this. I always thought that as Crawford style versus Canelo, I think he beats Canelo," said Shakur Stevenson to Talk Sport Boxing. Cor Stevenson makes it seem like Terence Crawford will stand toe-to-toe and trade blows with Canelo Alvarez in September. However, that scenario seems unlikely given Crawford's usual approach when facing powerful punchers.
He's a special fighter, pound for pound. I think many will say number one in the world, alongside the likes of people like yourself and that great list that we've got at the minute. See the man speak.
He typically relies on movement, utilizing his jab and leaping into land shots before quickly positioning. Crawford doesn't stay stationary or engage in relentless attacks. His aggressive performance against Errol Spence was more of an exception, largely because Spence wasn't at his best following his car accident. It would be a little over a year, 13 months. You got to be very careful if you're going to take a fight above 160 pounds, because it's a new weight range, said Chris Manx on his YouTube channel. About Terence Crawford taking a tune-up fight: it seems unlikely that Terence Crawford will take the risk of a tune-up fight against a super middleweight before facing Canelo Alvarez in September.
Yes, honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who is mentally as strong as Terence Crawford.
If Crawford does compete in the weight class, it would probably be at a catch weight, potentially around 163 or 164 pounds, against a middleweight. Moving up, possible opponents could include Aaron McKenna, Liam Smith, Austin Williams, or Kyron Davis, fighters who pose minimal threat to Crawford and are ranked lower in the middleweight division. The Mexican superstar and Bud have seemingly been on a collision course for a few years now, following a blistering knockout win over Errol Spence Jr. in July 2023. Terence Crawford called for a fight with Canelo Alvarez, already a two-time undisputed champion. Bud wanted to move up 3 weight classes for more gold. However, the super middleweight champion had other business to deal with. Canelo Alvarez initially shot the fight down, instead scoring lopsided wins over Jaime Munguia and Edgar Berlanga.
Come in March. Okay, so at the beginning of the middle of the February or March. Yeah.
For his part, Terence Crawford moved to light middleweight last August, scoring a decision win over Israel Madoff to earn World Boxing Association and World Boxing Organization gold. Following that win, there was again brief talk of a potential Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight. However, it appears that the bout may finally come to fruition. While Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have not commented on the report, the signs are there. Earlier this week, the two boxers were seen meeting with Saudi boxing promoter Turki Alec.
We don't talk that much for make a deal and anything, but you know, we now know each other, and
we'll see what.
The executive has helped arrange long-awaited bouts such as Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk and Error BBV versus Dimitri Bivol in recent months. Alec has long advocated for Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, and he's made it clear that he's willing to pay for the bout as well. That combined with this report and recent comments from Bud show that the fight is likely indeed in the works. Taking to X earlier today, Crawford vowed to shock the world. For what it's worth, beating Canelo Alvarez will be an uphill climb for the 37-year-old.
And that the chances of a fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have, quote, greatly increased.
While Terence Crawford is an all-time great, he'll have to move up 2 weight classes to face the Mexican star. Then again, if anyone could defy the odds, it would probably be Bud. Renowned boxing journalist Julius Giuliani later revealed another positive update, claiming that they are considering a September date for the fight. While nothing is officially confirmed, fans and experts have already started speculating and picking their winners. Terence Crawford saw and heard all that he needed in order to enter the chat. The former 3-division ring champion and reigning World Boxing Association 154 pounds titleist is finally in reach of a dream fight with Sal Canelo Alvarez. Multiple sources have informed the ring that extraordinary efforts are being made to put the fight together for later this year. ESPN Deportes Julius Giuliani suggested a deal is already in place. Other sources have suggested it can happen as early as May, though such plans sound extremely ambitious. Alvarez was in London for the inaugural Ring Awards ceremony and made a point to meet with Turki Al-Sheikh, the driving force behind Riyadh season and new owner of the ring. Al-Sheikh and his group presented this weekend's ceremony while also meeting with boxing royalty including Alvarez to discuss big business in 2025. The moment Crawford heard his name mentioned, he rearranged his weekend plans. "I'm like a genie when you rub his lamp," Crawford said, posting a picture outside London's Heathrow Airport on Sunday. "Once you call upon me, I appear to grant you one wish, because I'm a free genie, not one in cuffs." Al-Sheikh met with Crawford on Sunday, one day after he had productive talks with Alvarez about general business for the year ahead. Alvarez is still putting together plans for a targeted May ring return to defend his ring. World Boxing Council, World Boxing Association and World Boxing Organization Super Middleweight Championship. Crawford, who just moved up to junior middleweight in 2024, would advance another 2 weight divisions for what he is repeatedly referred to as a legacy fight. Crawford has not fought since an August 3rd unanimous decision win over Israel Madrimov to win the World Boxing Association and interim World Boxing Organization junior middleweight titles. The fight headlined Riyadh season's US launch at _ stadium in Los Angeles, California. Lake was always keen to deliver an Alvarez-Crawford fight, but briefly paused those plans once Alvarez didn't show interest in the fight.
To come my way and me and him get in the ring, then it'll be an electrifying fight. You know?
He instead moved forward with a championship defense versus Edgar Berlanga, whom he outpointed over 12 rounds last September in Las Vegas. Neither Alvarez nor Crawford have fought since then. It is unclear, though, at this point, doubtful whether Crawford would take a fight before the hoped for Showdown with Alvarez. Those plans can obviously change in a hurry, though Alvarez's presence in London 2 weekends ago was enough proof. And now also the Mexican boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez has the door open for his activity in 2025, where there are several candidates and he could spring a surprise with some of his potential rivals.
How important is it that you spoke with Turki Al-Sheikh?
Say again, please.
How important for you is it that you've spoke to Turki Al-Sheikh, and what did you think about it?
Look, I like to work with everybody.
Canelo Alvarez went to London to receive the recognition of the Ring magazine as Fighter of the Year, where he met Turki Alec, and in an interview with the host he acknowledged that there is a possibility of fighting Terence Crawford. "There's always a possibility, we'll see, but there's always a possibility. We're here to do the best business," Canelo told the Ring when asked about his meeting with Alec and the possibility of agreeing to the fight against Bud Crawford.
I like to work with everybody. You know, I'm a free agent and I like to work with everybody. And you know, I like to have the doors open.
I'll be honest, I'd be very surprised if that fight happens. I think His Excellency has been pushing that fight. It didn't seem like it was something Canelo really wanted to do, to be honest, Hearn told Fight Hype after recalling a chat he had with the Mexican boxer about why he would be reluctant to accept a fight against Bud Crawford.
All the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I think his feeling is that when he beats Crawford everyone will say I beat a 154 pounds fighter, said Hearn. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.